My question is the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, in the gallery today are representatives of the farmers, shearers, truckies and local communities whose livelihoods rely on the live sheep export industry that the Labor government is shutting down. Given Labor claims its phase-out of live sheep exports is due to animal welfare, can the Prime Minister name one country that has higher animal welfare standards for live exports than Australia?
Order. Give the call to the Prime Minister.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. I'm asked about the live sheep export industry, and I'm asked in the context of the legislation that was carried through the Senate last night. I met with farmers yesterday afternoon in my office, and I listened to what they had to say, and I respectfully, of course, indicated a preparedness to continue to work with them. They have an industry that's worth $80 million. The package that we have on the table is currently worth $107 million, greater than
Order. The member for
the annual industry. And the truth is that the live sheep industry has been in decline compared with the sheep meat industry that's valued around about $4 billion and has expanded substantially in places like the United Kingdom.
The Prime Minister will pause. The Treasurer and the Leader of the Opposition, quite happy for you to take the conversation outside to discuss the issue in detail. Order. The Prime Minister was asked a question. And I want to hear his answer, and I'm sure everyone in the House does.
Leader of the Nats might have just had a little nudge to his right, because the Deputy Leader of the Opposition had this to say: live sheep exports fails on both economic and animal welfare grounds. Unfortunately, this is an industry with an operating model built on animal suffering. The industry has had countless second chances.
Now, the member for Fremantle will cease interjecting. I want to hear the Leader of the Nationals on his point of order, which he's entitled to make.
On relevance, Mr Speaker, it was a very tight question around naming one country predicated on Labor's decision, not on the coalition's, but on Labor's decision to shut this industry down. Very tight question, asking for one country. He's been given nearly 2 minutes and he has not been relevant to the question. That was very tight.
Well, the issue with direct relevance, as we deal with this on most weeks in question time, is the Prime Minister wasn't talking about live sheep exports. If he wasn't talking about the government's decision, if he wasn't talking about the commentary around it, of course he wouldn't be directly relevant. And yes, I know you'd like a one-word answer, but as we have done many times, the standing order doesn't provide for that. There are options to provide that. No one's taken me up on the offer to ensure that could happen. So whilst the standing orders exist as they are, and the Prime Minister is being directly relevant to the topic, and I think he's quoting another member of Parliament regarding the issue, I'm left with another choice to make sure he remains on topic. But if he strays off the topic, and order, the Leader of the Nationals is warned. Prime Minister in continuation, and will be relevant to the question.
I reiterate that I met with these people not just yesterday, but I've met with them in Western Australia as well.
Yeah, that's right. The member for Forest will cease interjecting.
The Deputy Leader had this to say: the industry has had countless second chances to improve conditions, but exporters do not comply with the rules because regulations written on paper in Australia cease to mean anything once the ship departs. She was asked last year the same position, and she said, we actually don't need this trade at all. Of course I stand by what I presented in this parliament. Senator Sarah Henderson said this: if any person in Australia crams sheep into a transport vehicle for 25 days in the searing heat, she went on to say that person will be charged with animal cruelty. And of course there's the member for Latrobe, another key member of their front bench, who said if you had a dog in a car all day in hot conditions, the owners would be charged with animal cruelty, yet it is okay for 1,000 sheep to go into international waters, suffer heat stress, suffer lack of ventilation, suffer lack of water and die in cruel, inhumane conditions.
Order.
To me,
Prime
that is not
Minister's
acceptable.
time
I suggest the member
concluded.
talk to